The Barefoot King. Castle of Earlie Bogglemyer. Inside of his ginormous-sized home, in front of his floor-to-ceiling, living room window, stood a handsome, fit, barefoot, older man named Earlie Bogglemyer. To Earlie this was just a lovely home, to others it was a magnificent castle. Earlie had the look of a king with barefoot as he proudly stood in his living room window. Thus, he was nicknamed the Barefoot King. During one of Earlie's holiday breakfast feast, something unexpected happened. "Right on schedule," said Earlie as he winked over towards his wife Maple, his grandson Joss, and Joss's best friend named Devi Woods. Earlie waved out of his living room window towards the large crowd that was filled with warm holiday faces. "Happy holidays," shouted everyone. "Happy holidays to you all," said Earlie. Earlie smiled as he waved over towards the special VIP section. Standing in the VIP section were 3 members of the Black Titans, i.e. Pan, Pagan, and their youngest son. Named Dun. The crowd applauded and cheered as the Greek gods Zeus and Hera descended from the clouds as they joined the Black Titans in the VIP section. As Maple waved towards the crowd, she noticed a few business suit members who stood far off in the back of the crowd. "Not sure why they're here," said Maple. "All are welcome during this special time of the year," said Earlie as he pressed a button on his tablet and hologram reindeers appeared before the crowd. The hologram reindeers playfully raced over towards the crowd and they ate hologram carrots and apples directly out of the crowd's hands. After the hologram reindeers finished all the hologram carrots and apples, they bowed before the crowd, and they simply disappeared. Earlie pressed a button on his tablet and the tall front doors to their home sprung wide open. Animatronic toy soldiers marched out of the home. They carried huge breakfast baskets that were filled with grilled ham and cheese sandwiches, warm buttermilk biscuits, pickled strawberry jam, cheddar cheese slices, fresh blueberries and raspberries, roasted walnuts, and toasted almonds. Plus, they carried large beverage trays with freshly squeezed orange juice, brewed hazelnut coffee, hot cocoa with marshmallows, and iced chai tea. Every morning as the crowd enjoyed their holiday breakfast feast, Earlie told various fantasy stories. He told stories about brand new faraway cities, a military fort shaped like a pentagon, an underwater attraction shaped like a pyramid, river monsters, funny aliens, powerful mortals, and lots more. After the storytelling, Earlie, Maple, Joss, and Devi all sang the song called Hallelujah. However, Earlie changed/altered the lyrics of the song from the Baffled King composing Hallelujah to the Barefoot King composing Hallelujah. The crowd loved the changed/altered song because it fit Earlie's nickname of the Barefoot King perfectly. As Earlie, Maple, Joss, and Devi took a bow after their wonderful performance, Pan, Pagan, Dun, Zeus, and Hera all cheered and applauded along with the crowd. As everyone cheered and applauded, Earlie pressed a button on his tablet and peppermint stripped drones flew/raced across the skies directly above the crowd. The peppermint strip drones flew in perfect, synchronized formation as they released peppermint candy canes down onto the crowd. As everyone playfully grabbed peppermint candy canes from the sky, a single peppermint strip drone comes out of nowhere as it raced across the skies, and it joined in with the other synchronized peppermint stripped drones. The crowd loved it, and they shared the loudest laughter. You can find me later today, live on short stream on the trending news report with Ed Hightower, said Earlie. Happy holidays from my family to you all, said Maple. Happy holidays, said Joss and Devi as they waved towards the crowd with the biggest smiles on their faces. Live on short stream /Ed Hightower with the trending news report. Your parents were, said Ed. Sunrise and Susie Bogglemyer, said Earlie. They were traveling songwriters, singers, and storytellers, said Ed. My parents built a fantastic tour bus called the Grandstand, said Earlie. They traveled from, said Ed. They traveled from city to city and the Grandstand converted into a magnificent performance stage, said Earlie. The crowd enjoyed an assortment of homemade treats as Sunrise and Susie performed, said Ed. I recall a fantastic story my parents told during one of their shows about a futuristic battleship that was filled with celebrity personality types, said Earlie. A few business suits standing amongst the crowd, said Ed. Quite a few, said Earlie. Then this is where it all comes from, said Ed. We've inspired many others, hopefully, said Earlie. You tell a heartfelt story of your upbringing, said Ed. My parents' home had marvelous, heated flooring. I grew up in a fantastic and cozy place. There wasn't a need for socks or slippers indoors. That was home to me. Today my home has heated flooring, said Earlie. This is where the barefoot comes from, said Ed. Indeed, said Earlie. Your son was born at 12 p.m. in the afternoon, said Ed. Correct, said Earlie. You named him, said Ed. We named our son Noon, said Earlie. He grows up, said Ed. He marries his high school sweetheart Nancy, said Earlie. Just days after Nancy gave birth to your grandson Joss, Noon and Nancy both vanished, and you filed an alien abduction report with the police, said Ed. We located the Grandstand, and it was covered with alien particles, said Earlie. During one of your holiday breakfast feast, something happened, said Ed. My son Noon and his wife Nancy suddenly returned home, said Earlie. They tell you in the crowd a fascinating story, said Ed. A story of an alien spacecraft crashing down before them. There was a young alien named Rossi inside. He was chased by beautiful, yet deadly insects called diamond locusts, said Earlie. These insects are dated to the Stone Age, said Ed. They're fierce enemies of the gray alien people, said Earlie. You're referring to the Greynauts, said Ed. Yes, said Earlie. You said in other interviews that the alien craft took off all on its own, said Ed. The alien craft flew off into outer space with Noon and Nancy on board. They were involved with a galactic war between hundreds of Greynauts and diamond locusts, said Earlie. Afterwards, a mysterious lady exited from a mysterious craft, and she takes them away. For observation, said Ed as he reads his notes. They were transported to Enchantica, said Earlie. We're talking about the prison/detainment center now, said Ed. This is where Noon and Nancy currently live, said Earlie. Lastly, I want to talk about changing the lyrics to the song Hallelujah, said Ed. The change fit magnificently with my nickname, as well as our annual holiday breakfast feast, said Earlie. I missed out on this year's holiday breakfast feast due to an indoor tennis tournament, said Ed. For winning the indoor tennis tournament, we've brought our holiday breakfast feast to you, said Earlie. From the backstage area out walked Ed's wife Gigi, their daughter Rona, and Rona's daughter Penny. With warm holiday faces, they each carried the same breakfast baskets and beverage trays that the animatronic toy soldiers carried. Happy holidays, said Gigi, Rona, and Penny. The long black curtains that covered the huge windows of the studio suddenly opened. Outside of the windows stood Maple, Joss, and Devi along with hundreds of the trending news report fans. They all had the biggest smiles on their faces. Happy holidays, Ed shouted Maple, Joss, and Devi along with the crowd. Happy holidays, said Ed. Also, amongst the crowd were the animatronic toy soldiers with their huge breakfast baskets and beverage trays. Above the crowd, high up in the skies, were large passenger drones. Teens inside the passenger drones all pressed buttons and edible peppermint confetti rained down onto the crowd. How about I do the outro to your show as you and your lovely family enjoy our holiday breakfast feast, said Earlie. Sounds marvelous, said Ed. Stay tuned to this channel for all trending content. Thank you for watching the Trending News Report. Live here on Short Stream. To all who's watching, from me, Earlie Bogglemyer aka the Barefoot King, happy holidays to you all, said Earlie. The entire crowd all sang the Barefoot King's changed/altered version of the song Hallelujah. The Barefoot King.